Good morning, and thank you for being here for the monthly update of the Edge Investment Credit Fund. October was the worst month we had since inception. We were down close to 7%, and probably the worst in my personal career. The majority of the drawdown, which is roughly 10% since August, has been due to macro positioning. And of that, I would say 2/3 is probably macro out of that 10%. Within the macro sector, we basically had one position which was long duration, especially in Europe, where we see the economy slowing down much more than US, and where we see inflation coming down much more aggressively than in US. And that was the majority of the losses. Away from that, we had two idiosyncratic macro plays, which are Argentina and Ukraine. Ukraine has just been marked down, so we had lots of profit since the beginning of the year. We reduced some of that profitability. We still maintain the position. If anything, we're thinking about adding. We see both US and Russian presidential election in the next 12 months as being quite consequential in terms of the probability increasing of a settlement or ceasefire. We think Ukraine and Russia are exhausted by this war, and which has been an absolute humanitarian disaster. And we also think that the majority shareholder behind, which are US, Europe on one side, and China on the other, have pretty much achieved the result that they wanted, which was to diminish and inflict an irreversible damage to the Russian military apparatus and to Putin as a regime. So we view the chances of a settlement quite high. So we love Ukraine. We think it's a great investment to have. And we think everybody now understands how strategic will be their economic power with whether it's agriculture or precious commodities. And away from that, obviously Argentina has been very disappointing. We were expecting for like a major reformist push and shock, and it hasn't happened. The election is still not over, but we reduced the position substantially, and that loss unfortunately has been crystallized, but it's probably a little bit more than 10% of the overall we had. Away from that, in the kind of idiosyncratic position, we had marked down a few positions on the stress distress, which was probably a little bit less than 2%. And on the other side, we had some position like Telecom Italia, Dish, where we been accumulating gains for the year. We gave up on some of those, but we still remain very happy with those positions. We like them, although we reduced them a little bit tactically. And we think telecom is the most strategic sector right now, and it will be the same going forward. So overall, our picture on the macro side, we remain convinced of our position. We keep in the long duration. If anything, we're adding in a kind of tactical way. We think the economic system is so levered that the pain coming from this monetary tightening will be the biggest we've seen in the last cycles since the Second World War. So we think that the amount of pain that's coming up is going to be brutal. It will be felt through credit, obviously, because the refinancing cycles. We also think and expect a massive deflationary wave coming from AI and AI application. There's been trillions invested there, and it will be very impactful over the next year, 1 or 2 years. So overall, we remain on that. We remain bearish on credit, and we have several positions on the short. The only real long structural long is on the telecom sector via different, kind of idiosyncratic plays. And then lastly, on the stress distress, we remain very opportunistic. We had a few positions which we like. We've been marking them down over the last 12 months. We still believe they're going to work. So overall, we remain quite positive in terms of the book positioning, although obviously the loss has been substantial. For that, we apologize with the investors. But at the same time, we like the portfolio, we like the macro picture, and we also think that the volatility, especially in credit and the special situation we'll see in credit, should offer a good opportunity for our investment style. Thank you.